Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So I just bring for you the conduction system of heart, the really important topic. Hopefully you guys will understand it. And if you haven't subscribed the channel, do subscribe it firstly. How the conduction system works. So first of all, the impulse generated from the SA node which is present at the atria, the right atria generated the impulse from the SA node, then it passed through the AV node which is present at the end of the atria and make the atria to contract and pass the signal towards the bundle of hairs. Then it passes the right and left bundle branches then to the Purkinje fibers. The Purkinje fiber make the ventricle to contract and how it works. The atria contracted, then the ventricle contracted. Most of the time, everyone heard about the ECG. So, ECG is basically the heart electrical impulses measurement and it basically stands for electrocardiogram. So we have a normal ECG in which we have a P wave, QRS complex, ST segment and T wave. When the atria is about to depolarization, it make a wave which is known as P wave. Then the signal forward, then the ventricle is contracted, then it make a complex which is q, which is ventricle repolarization, then the signal path, then it make peak which is R, which is the ventricle depolarization at its peak, then becomes downward which is S, then it make a whole complex which is QRS complex. Then we have a atria repolarization which is known as T wave and the S and T, the depolarization of ventricle and the repolarization, the time between them is a segment which is known as ST segment. So in this video you guys will understand when the atria is contracted, the SA node passes the signal towards the AV node, then the P wave is generated, then the signal passes to the right and left bundle branches, then there is a contraction of ventricle which is known as QRS complex, then the repolarization of ventricle is known as T wave. So here you guys will understand correctly the P wave, QRS complex, T wave and ST segment. The P wave is the atrial depolarization. In the background image, you guys will understand and where is the D wave, then the QRS complex, the depolarization of ventricle, and it shows the beginning of systole and ventricular contraction. Then we have a T wave, which is the repolarization of the ventricle. Then the ST segment, which is the interval between depolarization and repolarization of ventricles, as I discussed before. So, in this slide, you guys will know the pacemaker and action potential of the heart. The potassium ion is permeable, which is the when there is no stimulus, not anything, the action potential is about as minus 70. Then the action potential is about to generate when the stimulus come and crosses the minus 40. Then the calcium ion are permeable. Then the fast calcium ion channel opens. Then the depolarization. Then we have a repolarization, then again a pacemaker stimulation which is known as the slow depolarization, then again the fast calcium ion are permeable, the action potential is generated, and then again the repolarization when it come downwards, It is a repolarization. When it goes upward, it is a depolarization. So you have to know what is repolarization and depolarization. The threshold is about to maintain as minus 40 and above. In this slide, you guys will understand how the P wave is generated and the other waves are generated related to heart contraction. So, first of all, the SA node generates impulse, which is the beginning, and it creates a P wave, and the full P wave is make when the impulse delayed at the AV node. When a SA node passes impulses the AV node, the atria is contracted and it make a whole P wave, which is known as atria depolarization. Then the bundle of hills passes the right and left bundle branches the signal to the Purkinje fibers. There is a signal of bundle branches, the Q is make, and then the R and S when the Purkinje fiber make the contraction of the ventricle, which is the depolarization of ventricle, and the T wave is made when there is a repolarization of ventricle. So, though the time interval between, as I discussed, S and T is a ST segment. Hard sounds. We have two types of hard sound. The lub and dub are associated with the closing of heart valves. As you guys will show in this video, first sound is occur when the AV valve atrioventricular valve closes. A significant beginning of systole contraction basically make the first hard sound, which is the lub sound. Then the second hard sound occur when the SL valve, semilunar valve, closes at the beginning of ventricle, which is diastole. The relaxation, the dub sound is made. So now we are discussing the cardiac cycle, which is basically the blood flow through the heart, which make a cycle, which is systole, the contraction of the heart, and the diastole, the relaxation of the heart. They both make a contraction and relaxation, a whole cycle of the heart, which is known as the cardiac cycle. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel. I really hope so. My lectures are really helpful for you.